Sai Leela episode 35. Om Sai Ram. Experiences of Tadkar family continues. Dear Sai devotee readers, as the saying in Marathi goes, during those 17 rounds of Shirdi, my father was enriched with multifold experiences, and whenever he used to get into that spiritual mode, he would narrate those experiences and amuse us. I am sure he must be getting immense pleasure out of it. I once again sincerely wish he should have written them. I am narrating to you those few which have made lasting impressions on me, and of course those which I am in a position to recollect. My intentions are simply to make known to Sai devotees the great powers of Shirdi Saibaba, and while doing so make an attempt to express my devotion to him. My great grandparents, who were staying in their bungalow at Charni Road, Chowpatty, had come to know that Ramchandra, my grandfather, and Jyotindra, my father, were frequently visiting Shirdi. As father and son were staying in Bandra in Tata blocks on rental basis, they would meet them only occasionally. The living style of my great grandparents were in the line with the English people of that time. However, my great grandmother was a very inquisitive person, and she would inquire with my father about Shirdi Saibaba and his Leelas. Whenever he used to visit them at Chowpatty, she would always tell him to take her to Shirdi for darshan of Lord Sai, and my father would always assure her he was sure that it would not happen, as his grandfather would never allow such a visit. She was 70 plus in age, and the grandfather was a non-believer in Babas and saints. It so happened that there was an epidemic plague in Mumbai, and the doctors had not found a definite medicine or cure on the fearful disease till then. My great grandmother was running temperature, and the treatment was given to her by her doctor husband. Treatment given by her doctor husband was not yielding any good results. On learning about her illness, my father paid a visit to their residence. During the visit, grandmother told father that she would not come out of that plague attack, and he should offer prayers to Sai Baba to come to her rescue. She would then visit Shirdi and take his darshan. On hearing her plea, my father advised her that if she has a genuine belief in Lord Sai, then she would offer her prayers from her bed, and Lord Sai would surely come to help her. My father then put a small packet of udi, which he always carried in his wallet, under her pillow, and after coming home prayed to Lord Sai to offer relief to her. On the third day, early morning, the servant from Chowpatty bungalow came to Bandra and said that he is being summoned to bring Jyotiba, my father, along with him. My grandfather and father were worried and prayed nothing untoward had happened. They immediately rushed to Chowpatty. On reaching there and seeing grandmother sitting in the bed, they got a jolt of their life. She was in tears and said, "Jyotiba, last night your Sai Baba came over here. He was wearing a white robe and head tied with a white cloth. He was having white beard. He stood near my bed and laid his palm with udi on my forehead and said, 'Mother, now onwards you will start feeling better and better,' and he disappeared. After that, I started sweating profusely and my fever had vanished. Early morning, I was feeling normal, and I did not brush my teeth and asked the servant to bring a mirror to me. On seeing my face, I could clearly see the implant of his udi laden palm on my forehead. Therefore, I sent the servant to summon you, and now you see yourself." Grandmother's and grandson's joy knew no bounds at that moment. My father instantly thanked Lord Sai for his divine services. Dr. Thadkar, my grandpa, also was astonished, as many of his plague-infected patients were no more. They arranged for a kirtan program of Daskanu Maharaj in their bungalow, and as such, Baba's darshan to grandma had already taken place. Lord Sai had fulfilled her desire on his own. "Sai, I am short of words to express our gratitude to you. Please continue your divine blessing on all of us. Dear Sai devotee readers, with the self experiences of the Thadkar family, I wish to complete this chapter before proceeding further. I sincerely request the soul of my father, whom we used to call Dada, to earnestly pardon us in case I have flattered anywhere in narrating his valuable experiences and made any mistakes. I am sure the great soul, wherever it is, would pardon me, because my sole intention of writing this book is exclusively to salute Dada, which I could not do during his lifetime. I think it is better late than never. Memorable last meeting with Sai. I have completed narrating the life experiences of Thadkar family with Lord Sai. One can now affirmatively say the Thadkar family was destined to come in contact with Lord Sai, and this had taken place because of their Purva Punya, the good deeds in their previous birth. One peculiarity you must have noticed, that they were not required to ask for anything from Baba. Although their first visit was to get relief on a biological ailment, but during this visit they were not required to declare the purpose of their visit. Baba could read their minds and pinpoint accurately and shower his blessings on them in order to bring them closer to him. In the course of time, their bond went on becoming stronger and stronger, and now I sincerely pray that this should last till the end of this world. I think it must be the year 1918, the Navaratri days, because Baba took his Mahasamadhi on Vijayadashmi day. 7 days later, after granting mukti to the ailing tiger, Baba had become very old, and he would walk with the help of 2 devotees, one on each side of him. One evening, after placing the Petromax lanterns in the required places, my father had noticed that Baba was looking very tired. He asked Baba whether he could press his legs in order to give him some relief and comfort. But Baba then said, "As you have expressed the desire, you may proceed and satisfy yourself." My father then sat near his feet and started pressing his legs. After a while, Baba turned to him and said, "Bhau, this is our last meeting and we will not meet after this. As you know, so many people come to Shirdi and ask for different kind of grants like Sampatti, Santati, Swasthya, etc. from me. I do not displease anyone and pray the Lord on their behalf. My Lord responds positively to my parents and grant them their requirements. You are one person I have come across who has not asked for anything. Possibly you are not married and having no family, hence not feeling any need for anything. But Bhau, since we will not meet anymore, please ask for anything your desire. Otherwise, I will always feel indebted to you for all the services you have rendered to me so far." My father said, "Baba, with your grace, I have everything in life, and I really do not need any materialistic thing. Only make sure your blessings are always there with me. Under no circumstances you should feel away from my memory in future." Then Baba said, "Bhau, I am in any case duty bound towards my devotees, and I am asking you to ask something personally for yourself, because each individual has his or her separate identity and needs some external help to successfully sail through his or her life cycle. Please feel free and ask." My father realized that it was an acid test for him. So he said, "Baba, now then you are emphasizing so much, hence before I ask you, promise me that you will positively grant me my wish." Then Baba said, "Bhau, I have granted the wishes of so many, you should not have any least doubt in me. You ask and I grant." Then my father said, "Baba, I need only one thing from you. Put me to any berth and I must be able to see your feet." Baba was then silent for some time. He broke the silence saying, "Bhau, I am not able to grant this wish for you. My father then said, Baba, I was not asking for anything. You only forced me into this, and I did not need anything other than this from you. Then Baba gave a smile and said, Bao, so many people come to Shirdi, but very few are like you, who have completely understood me. By your this wish, you want to bind me up forever, and I do not have any permission from my Lord to get bound like this with anyone. However, you need not get disappointed. I promise you that in our next birth, when we are 10 years old, we will be sitting together and eating in one thali. My father then said, Baba, as you wish. In short, Baba promised him to meet him in the next birth. My father was satisfied and he prostrated before Baba instantly. Baba lifted him and then dropped his hand in the pot of udi next to him and offered him handful and said, Bao, preserve this with you with utmost care and use it in very sprinkling, as it contains enormous power of even putting life back into a dying man. It was the time for evening aarti. My father had a very contented feeling at that time. At the same time, he was rather sad because Baba had declared that it was his last meeting. Next day, Baba asked him to leave for Mumbai. On reaching home, he informed his parents what had taken place in Shirdi. They bought a small silver box and filled it with udi, which they valued like nectar, given to them by God Himself. I remember that if any one of us used to fall seriously ill, then my father would take a small quantity and put it in water and offered us to drink it in order to get well. One thing is certain, that during his lifetime, none of his 7 children passed away. Dear Sai devotees, my father had gone through many ups and downs in his life. He had his own bungalow, car and everything that one carves for in life. But later stage, he lost interest in the materialistic world. I have never seen him fall sick. He took ill at the age of 70 and passed away, about which I would narrate to you later. Proof of Sai's Mahanirvan in Mumbai. I had narrated to you medicinal effect of Baba's udi when Mr. Mudeshwar Pradhan had revealed of his attack of asthma. At that time, my grandfather had given him Baba's secret udi to drink, which had given him relief. My father and grandfather were very happy, as this was the same udi which Baba had given them with great assurance, and they had never imagined that they would be required to put it to use so early. But then something very interesting happened. On returning from Mudeshwar's residence to their home in Bandra, when they went in front of their sandalwood mandir to offer their thanks to Baba, they found Baba's portrait had slipped out from the bracket and it was hanging in an inclined position. They inquired my grandmother whether any servant had performed any cleaning operations in their absence. But it was not possible, as that was the Vijayadashami day and all the cleaning and puja had taken place in the morning. They were then trying to figure out the coincidence of the two events. They thought of going to the residence of Mr. Tandulkar or Mr. Dabholkar, who was residing nearby in Bandra, but it was not required, as the servant of Mr. Dikshit from Vilepale was at the doorstep in the evening. He informed them that Baba had passed away in the afternoon in Shirdi, and Mr. Dikshit would be leaving to Shirdi, and he had asked Baba Sahib Tarkar, my grandfather, to join him. On learning this, they were able to put two and together and realize that Baba had sent them a wireless message indicating that he is going for his Mahanirvan and bidding goodbye to this world. So was the temporary revival of asthma and sliding of Baba's portrait in the Sandalwood Mandir. Imagine the distance between Shirdi and Mumbai, and what a unique way to communicate with his loving devotees that one is bidding goodbye forever. Dear Sai devotees, very appropriately, Baba is termed as Anantakoti Brahmanda Nayak, Rajadi Raj, Yogiraj Parabrahma Sachidananda Sri Sainath, and such unique ways of his communication to his loving devotees must be sending shivers through their spines, which they only know better. Of course, Saibaba's Mahanirvan was only his bodily departure, because during his Avatara Karya, he impressed upon the minds of the devotees that he will always be there with them at their beck and call. He declared that my bones will talk to you from my grave and keep immense faith in me. The eternal truth is I am always alive, and this is my promise to you all, which you should never forget. We are in the 21st century, and even now, on those Utsav days of Ram Navami, Guru Purnima, and Vijayadashami, one can see a sea of his devotees present in Shirdi. My dear readers, I also wonder, after experiencing such divine spiritual association with Lord Sai, how come my father adopted the path of a common man to live the rest of his life? The normal rule is one adopt the path of Paramatma in order to get rid of Prapancha, the family life. But my father's life had been an exception to his rule, and that is what one will have to accept. I will give you some details about my father's last journey, which in my opinion is also unique, in the next chapter. Om Sai Ram.